And welcome back mga kaibigan, I'm Sphere.
And I'm Jay.
Good evening ulit sa lahat ng mga summoners natin na nanonood ngayong gabing ito. You are watching the Garena Premier League 2014 Summer Season laban sa pagitan ng Team IGL, IGR versus SF5. Pero bago ang lahat, let's look at our schedule muna for tonight's matches.
Yes, alright. So we've had a pretty interesting night so far. Taipei Assassins almost going down to Bangkok Titans. Of course, the Taipei Assassins, the undefeated champions of the GPL this past 2 seasons, picked up another victory, still undefeated this season. Followed in the second game, we had IGL versus the Saigon Jokers. A pretty slow game here. Unfortunately, IGL almost had a way of coming back into the game, but Saigon Jokers was able to rally together to close up the game for another victory for themselves. Coming up right now, of course, is IGR versus the Saigon Fantastic 5. SF5, of course, have been performing very well so far in the past 2 seasons and continue to dominate right now. And of course, our last match of the night will be between War Gods and Maki Esports. Alright, so the game will be starting very soon right now. Looking into the lineups of IGR and Saigon Fantastic 5, we have a lot of veteran players here coming from both sides. We have LY, of course, and of course Optimus and QTV who've been here around for GPL since the beginning of...
I think QTV ay yung player na sumali or yung nagpunta sa Paris for the All-Stars.
That's right.
Yes, you have QTV and Archie.
Yes, Archie did win in the last game in his team with SAJ a while ago. QTV, of course, is the captain of SF5 at the moment, being one of the like I said, the veteran players of the GPL, trying to instruct his team to continue to dominate in the GPL season this summer season.
Before anything else, let's look at our standings muna for both Group A sa ating GPL. For Group A mga kaibigan, still TPA for the top 1, 4-0 score, HU Fighter 4-3-1 score dito, Saigon Jokers 3-1 as well, Insidious Gaming Legends 1-4, Bangkok Titans 1-3, at syempre ang Imperium Pro Gaming Team from the Philippines 0-4.
Yes, so the Philippines are still struggling to pick up their first victory. Looking at the Group B standings, we have HQ Esports at number 1, still 4-0. Maki Esports at 2-1, being very strong, but might start to struggle since they did lose two of the new players in the team. Now, Saigon Fantastic 5 also tied with them at 2-1, of course. They are about to play another game. Hopefully, they could pick up another win to increase their victory, or maybe IGR could finally pick up their first win of the season. At 4th place, we have Neo Illusion Fulus at 1-2, and War Gods and his games without any wins, 0-2 and 0-3.
Insidious Gaming Rebirth for 0-3 ngayon. Well, so far, let's go back sa ating banning phase, SF5 versus Insidious Gaming Rebirth. Looking at the ban mga kaibigan, IGR banned out. Ito was Twisted Fate for the first ban of the game. Lee Sin meanwhile for SF5. They are still thinking kung sino yung dapat nilang i-shutdown for the member SF5 dito. But one thing that I could predict dito is the reason why they banned out champion like Twisted Fate and Pantheon dito. Both the champion can be very dangerous. Their presence, kahit malayo sila dito, the Destiny, the Grand Skyfall for Pantheon.
Yeah, semi-global effects coming from both Twisted Fate and Pantheon. They're denying
possible that IGR could go for the aggressive lineup dito that could dive in the front line dito or in the turret.
Yeah, and the last ban coming from IGR is the Kassadin. Like you said, SF5 have banned out Lee Sin and Brom already. They're on their last ban right now. It will be really interesting to see what champion they would decide to ban out. A lot of options still open for IGR. Of course, we have Thresh, a very popular pick. I won't be surprised seeing it once again in this game with either team, especially since Brom is out of the picture here.
We even have Kale pa, LeBlanc. We have champions like
Jax.
Sobrang dami pang choices dito for the team. Lee Sin as well. I actually banned out si Lee Sin dito. Still have LeBlanc. We have Kyle.
Yes, the last ban of SF5 is the Yasuo. And IGR decided to first pick Lulu once again. Lulu, even after so many adjustments by Riot, is still a popular pick, particularly here in the Southeast Asian region.
Lalo na sa top lane, actually sobrang effective niya. But going against any champion dito, I think SF5 have to decide who champion that they have to use that could go against Lulu in the top lane. Ito kanina, Goni used Olaf against Lulu and sobra effective to in the top lane.
Yeah, I noticed
Very unfortunate for Lulu kanina.
A lot of teams are trying to pick out champions who can beat Lulu in lane, like what we've seen in Jax and like you said, Olaf in the previous game. Of course, it's still a toss coin to see if the player can actually outplay the Lulu, particularly in the top lane. So there again, like I mentioned, Thresh was open, picked up right away by QTV, and Evelynn for the jungle. Of course, Evelynn's stealth effect allows her to be very dangerous in the map, applying pressure passively in the entire map for their team.
Alam mo, isa pang maganda kung bakit you have to get Lulu if ever nakasama siya sa lineup ninyo as your first champion pick dito kasi he could bait to your she could be a bait for your opponent dito to decide ano ba nga bang magiging lane ng si Lulu.
Yes, and
you
now,
go for the top lane, for the mid lane, or for the support role since you never know kung sino pa ibang pick nila dito.
yeah.
Possible na pang bait for the opponent there, this SF5.
Yes, and now IGR has locked in the Lucian, very popular AD carry. Nearly every game so far has seen a Lucian being picked out, and Jax also another popular pick, very strong champion. Can be played, well, it's mostly played in the top lane, sometimes in the jungle, but not as often as well. SF5 may go for the Twitch. Yes, they do lock in the Twitch. Twitch,
Same with
another
Twitch, both a champion.
popular AD carry.
Both the AD carry champion dito ay sobrang popular, sobrang hot pick.
They're basically the trending AD carries right now in the GPL. Most teams either go Lucian or Twitch most of the time. Actually, I think Lucian is probably the highest pick AD carry so far in the Southeast, followed closely by the Twitch. They also lock in Shyvana, a very popular pick on and off the seasons. Right now, SF5 does decide to go for the Shyvana. Most likely in the top lane, will have not much of a problem. Of course, medyo lugi siya sa poke damage coming from Lulu. But as the game scales, definitely Shyvana is very hard to take down.
Looking at the picks mga kaibigan of SF5 dito, they have Thresh, Evelynn, Shyvana, and Twitch as well. Both, in terms of skirmishes in the bottom lane, whoever is going to be the support role of IGR dito, with Lucian alone, they have to make sure that they can win the laning phase dito against their opponent kasi alam natin lahat kung gaano ka-effective si Thresh and Twitch dito. Sobrang lagi silang nagiging combo in the bottom lane. And kanina, I think, ganun din yata yung lineup nila. Thresh, actually, it was Thresh and Lucian. Pero ngayon, this time, Twitch and Thresh for the bottom lane of SF5. Looking at the lineup mga kaibigan, as you can see, wow, they are pre-picking Jinx. I think troll lang yun. It's impossible for them to get another AD carry. But, well, possible eh. I think possible na gawing mid lane dito na SF5 si Twitch.
Yeah,
na ginawa before ng TPA.
It looks like Lulu will go for the mid lane in this particular game, and Jax will probably resume the role as the top laner here. Jarvan will most likely be their jungler. Zyra being picked against the Thresh. Of course, her plants can block those death sentence coming from Thresh, and of course the knock-up will allow Lucian to successfully cast his calling onto his preferred target.
Okay,
Last
so
pick
far,
of SF5.
they got a
Surprise!
Jace.
Lock in. Suddenly a Jace being picked up. So we will go to a short break. You'll watch the highlights before we go into the game.
Now the IQ redemption spot will be on a chase Baron Fletcher's spot, and we'll be finding Super Mega Network, a very strong response coming in from Valkyrie. Now Valkyrie is the chase, finds that one more shot, Fletcher's spot, I guess that was that we said. Now he finds the shots as well with the gang starter, and Gofujuice will be the next target in this situation. Now Valkyrie will be on a chase, slow business from Birdie.
Pick up that one as Equivocal gets out of spike. Vera gets unstoppable force. So many people gonna go down. Valkyrie should be the next one to go down. BBCY on the back line. That and gets it. Vera will pick up the kill onto that one. Don't know if he wants me to pronounce it as Vestrella or not, but nevertheless, it's gonna be so many kills all around. Waits there with that double buff. Will be happy to duel out BBCY and his finalings. BBCY pounds the barrel, waits there, flashes away from that one. They're dancing back and forth. The volatile finaling will not be able to find him. BBCY along the side gets the shot in from that one, and we will see the heal coming up from Green, the flash and the go-kart. Will it land?
To the game mga kaibigan, welcome to the Summoner's Rift, IGR versus SF5. Si ano mangyayari dito? So ito na ating laban ngayon. Looking at the lineup, IGR have Jax, Jarvan, Lulu, Lucian, and si Zyra. For the lineup of SF5 mga kaibigan, we have Shyvana, we have Evelyn, Jace, Thresh, and Twitch.
Yeah, and I'd just like to let our viewers know, those who are watching right now, I know there are a lot of viewers right now, that tomorrow is the start of the PGS, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, we may have a watch and win promo.
Yes.
So it'll be very exciting. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow, 5 PM onwards, and you may stand a chance of winning some nice prizes from League of Legends.
Actually, maganda yung watch and win na yun. Kung di ako naghamali, medyo magandang in-game item yung makukuha mo through a code. So, bukas na lang, hintay-hintay kayo ng announcement sa ating PGS website. I mean, PGS Facebook fan page, facebook.com/progamingseries, tuloy-tuloy yan. Pero here comes the initiation mga kaibigan, an invade from IGR dito. They're aware that 4 member of Team IGR ay mag-i-invade sa laban na to. So they're trying their best to get the first blue buff of the game for SF5. This is going to be very dangerous for SF5 kung makukuha man to ng Team IGR. But looking at the SF5, they decided to get the blue buff as well of their opponent. But since merong ward dito, kitang-kita nila, susubukan ding agawin itong si Evelyn at Shyvana yung first blue buff of the game.
I think Optimus will try to steal this actually. Oh, LY trying to interrupt there. Oh!
Nice teleport and
He
nice
stole it.
comeback sa pagkuha niya ng sariling buff dito. So pretty good job for Jax dito. Nice team play. Nice teleport. And actually, ano yung nangyari dito? Wala bang smite? Oh, napaaga yung pag-smite ni SF5.
Yeah, she thought because they saw four members on the other side. They weren't expecting the Jack to be joined to interrupt them, and since yun nga, like you said, napaaga yung smite ni Evelyn there, trying to get the cooldown up as fast as possible to have a quick jungle, they do lose the blue buff to Jack with his counter strike.
Actually, that's very sad, especially for Evelyn, na mawala yung blue buff mo for your champion.
Yeah, so instead
Siguradong ang laki ng risk for your champion dito to survive the jungling route in the early part of the game.
well,
And as you can see, Jarvan invading the teamfight dito.
then another buff stolen, not a buff, but another large minion stolen away from Evelyn. Evelyn gonna be gipped a little bit in XP here.
One of the best way to win the early teamfight dito ay to shut down the your opponent's jungler dito. And as you can see, they're surely gaining the advantage dito. Yushin, I'm pretty sure na mahihirapan siya makabawi sa laban na to after ng mga nawala sa kanya kanina.
Yes, alright, so everybody, I'd just like to point out that we haven't seen any unorthodox lane movement here. Nobody system, no 4-1-0 lane swaps, or just standard lane swaps here. Everybody is going back to their standard lane. Surprisingly, no one trying any cheesy strategies. We do see here that, of course, we had early or late invades coming from both teams. But other than that, everything is pretty standard. Much similar to what you'd experience when you play normal or even ranked games. Alright, so here we see Lulu versus Jace. I'm really excited to see how Jace will perform in this particular game, since Jace used to be very, very strong, but with some nerfs and changes to his playstyle, we haven't seen him very often playing.
0-0 score at this point of time. That sentence attempt from Sarah. Su, sorry. But it missed out. Wonder what happened. I think nagkaroon ng nag-offline yata yung ating Twitch channel. Here comes the initiation mga kaibigan from Jarvan in the bottom lane. A flash in, unfortunately, hindi umabot yung kanyang Dimasha standard Dragon Strike combo. So, LY in the top lane still having a very hard time to go against SF5 QTV dito. But he has the advantage in terms of CS. Actually, it's 24, 27, 14.
Yeah, basically, definitely LY will have the advantage here, mainly due to that blue buff, allowing him to spam his spell much more often, especially on the minions, so it makes his life a lot more easier. Of course, QTV on Shyvana, anybody on Shyvana basically, is really a tough takedown, especially on a one-on-one basis, even at the early levels, unless we see some early ganks coming from the jungler of SF IGR. I don't think Jax will have a very solid victory over Shyvana in terms of 1v1ing.
But hindi naman to napaka-unusual na, na lineup dito. Jax against Shyvana, very usual to. And we all know na in the early part of the game, it's all about who will go for a more on harass playstyle dito. Kasi kung sino yung matabunan or kung sino yung mahirapan na mag-gain ng advantage dito, doing so much harassment in the early part of the game, siya ang mananalo. Pero kung nangyari, passive playstyle lang isa sa kanila, sigurado mahirapan siya na manalo against a champion dito. But Jax, knowing Jax, medyo mana hungry champion to. Unlike Shyvana, hindi siya gumagamit ng mana. Medyo merong slight advantage to Shyvana.
Looking at SF5's lineup though, it's very unusual, no? Especially to see Shyvana and Jace that aren't being picked up that often here in the C region. We'll have to see if they can make good use of them, particularly in this game. QTV and LY exchanging some blows here. As you can see, QTV doing a really good job of dueling Jax, even though he's already level 6 here. We'll have to see what will happen to that. A ward being placed down by SF5 to Death Sense is not connecting to anybody, including the poison cast of Twitch not landing onto the support of IGR.
A level 4 Evelyn trying to gank the bottom lane dito. So you can see, mahirapan silang mag-dominate against the bottom lane kasi we all know kung gaano katindi yung supporting skills na possible na ibigay nitong si Zyra for Lucian in the bottom lane too. Same with Thresh to help Twitch dito. Twitch, feel meron siyang ambush to disengage. And meron pang Dark Passage, Lantern from Thresh. So, in terms of protection, SF5 have a status advantage to go against the bottom lane. Kasi Valkyrie, itong si Vera, both a champion dito, Lucian and Zyra, malakas sila kapag pagbigay ng harassment dito eh. They both have the range, skills, AP champion itong si Vera. And, alam natin si Lucian dito talaga, yung kanyang double attack every time nagmagamit siya ng skill. So, late game wise, yes, IGR. Ang laki ng inalamang nila dito pagdating sa late game. They have Jax, they have Jarvan, they have Lulu, they have Lucian. And for SF5, Twitch, Jace, and Shyvana can surely give enough contribution to surely when notify na mangyayari in the later part of the game. Well, we'll see kung ano mangyayari.
Yes, alright, let's take a look at the CS right now from both teams. Jax is leading the CS over Shyvana, not really surprising here. LY trying to be aggressive here. QTV is in a little bit of trouble here. There's 3 members there.
Champion mga kaibigan, the first blood with the Dragon from QTV dito manage to round the team fight. He have to chase down the champion. LY versus Optimus dito in the jungle. At Jarvan versus Jace. You can't win against Jax dito. We all know that kung gaano ka-effective itong si Jax to go against any champion 1v1. And with that, it's a 2-for-1 exchange in favor of SF5. It's very unfortunate for IGR dito. Though they managed to get the second red buff of the game for Yushin Sana. Ganda na pag-respond dito ng 4 na member from IGR. And take note, that Jax with that counter-strike, the crowd control. Very good job for IGR.
Yeah, actually I'm surprised that, well, not really surprised, but it was quite nice to see how tanky Shyvana was there. Even though she was in the middle of 3 members of IGR there, somehow she's able to successfully turn it around, picking up even first blood, and with the support of the 2 other members, we're able to pick up another kill in exchange for 1. Alright, down in the bottom lane, a while ago I was talking about the CS here. Yes, Jax does have a nice CS advantage over Shyvana. IGR being very, very aggressive on
That's mga kaibigan for Vera dito. Ginamit na kanya Stranglehorn. Here comes the box and the Ignite as well. So that can surely end the life of a Zyra in the bottom lane. That was very unfortunate for IGR dito. After niya ma-release yung kanyang grasping roots and yung Q as well, medyo nag-miss yung skills niya dito. So here comes the Sentence. Mga kaibigan, good job for Zoo dito using his play and that Sentence as well. They are going to the first dragon of the game. Wow, what a play from SF5 dito. Not only na nag-teleport si Shyvana in the bottom lane. Here comes the steal attempt from Wei-Jai, or kung ano man yung pangalan niya dito. Hindi niya pinilit dahil that would be very dangerous for him. Well, though meron naman siyang cataclysm, meron din siyang flash out dito. Possible naman siya mag-Demacia Standard Dragon Strike combo. Can surely knock up a champion that na merong smite. Still, not taking any risk dito in the top lane, in the jungle dito. 1-4 score, first dragon goes to Team SF5.
Yes, actually Optimus doing so far a pretty good job on his Jace. 1-0-1. Lulu kind of struggling against Jace. Look at the CS advantage Optimus has right now, 95 to 69, and climbing right now, forcing even Lulu to go back to base here. Wei-Jai is in the lead in terms of CS here, but other than that, he hasn't really applied that much pressure in any of the lanes. He even died once a while ago in the red buff steal they were attempting on the side of SF5.
That shock blast combo dito. The shockwave and the acceleration gate combo. At eto na sinasabi ko, LY going against QTV dito. Ginamit ang kanyang W steal, chasing down a champion dito. But we have to take note na hanggat marami siyang minion, still have the advantage doon. Kasi kapag tumama yung third skill nitong si QTV o yung skill niya na Flame Breath, every time na merong mga minions dito na bibigay ng damage sa kanya, merong bonus damage. Here comes the Stranglehorn, mga kaibigan. Usually from the backline, chasing down Vera dito. Managed to enter up from champion, but a good trade coming from Valkyrie. Here comes the passive skill from Zyra. Responding in the bottom lane dito with that Cataclysm Wei-Jai. It's a double kill for Valkyrie dito.
LY in a little bit of trouble here. I don't think he can win here with all those minions helping QTV here. LY trying to run away.
Ooh, that flash out.
A very safe flash. He made sure that he didn't make any mistake there.
Mahirapan nga naman, medyo makapal yung bato dun eh.
Yes,
Kung
makapal.
nagkataon na nauntong siya dito, sigurado hindi siya makakatakas dun.
Sure death for him. So good job for LY.
And even the dragon can't do anything at hindi niya maliparan yung ganong kataas na. Kung di ako nagkakamali kapag lumipad siya dito, hindi yata aabot eh.
I think he might. I'm not really sure.
If umabot yung kanyang range, he can jump in.
But he was ready in dragon form, so there's no way he could really chase that. And his flash is still on cooldown. But looks like QTV will respond. We'll try to take out the turn.
Ang bilis ng pagbalik dito ni LY in the top lane. IGR got their own blue buff of the game for the first time. JD?
Yes, that's right.
Got the first blue buff of the game, and goes to IGR Floda. Same with Optimus, both a champion have their blue buffs dito, so matinding palitan ng mga poke damage dito. Sa pinakamahirap kay Lulu, or pinakamahirap when you're going against a Jace dito, ay hindi mo pwedeng hayaan na makalapit siya sa'yo.
Yeah, so Optimus ready with his mana mune, still packing up some charges there, and later on it will allow him to burst a lot more damage once he maxes the stacks of that mana charge there, transferring it to Marumasa if I'm not mistaken. And Yushin here spotting out the pink ward, denying him any chance to surprise Jax in the top lane here. Valkyrie here on Lucian does have a large minion wave here, but has to be a little bit careful. There is a pink ward in that bush. Jarvan did not yet spot it, but looks like he has seen it. Will decide to take it out now. So basically, that's one of the things that I'm surprised though there was a pink ward there, but nonetheless, PTV will go for the tower, trying to bait Jax to initiate onto her, but a tower being picked up by IGR in the bottom lane with a 3-man push here in the bottom lane.
3-5 score, 14-minute mark. LY still being pressured against QTV dito. Though nakuha kagad ni LY yung first tier in the top lane dito. I think ang laki ng advantage niya actually sa CS pa lang makikita mo na. Same with the score. Sa score, medyo lamang si Shyvana dito. But here comes the counter strike from the backline mga kaibigan. Here comes Optimus to respond. Here, ignited si LY dito. Ginamit na kanyang leap. Paano mapag-disengage? But here comes Vera to respond. Good stranglehold and clashing roots as well. Jarvan used that cataclysm. And what a turnaround from IGR dito. They are chasing down Shyvana. But I think hindi na dapat nilang ipilit to. There's a high possibility that any member from from SF5 can surely respond.
Yes, and actually, we can see here IGR pinging the middle turret here. You can see all three members of IGR moving to the mid lane. Minas though having free range on the bottom turret here, picking up another turret for SF5 here. 3 towers to 2. Teleport coming in. I believe this is Shyvana joining the party in the mid lane.
Ooh!
Trying to knock them out with the
Here comes
ultimate.
Dragon for mga kaibigan. See the damage
Naging
output.
squirrel yung Dragon
Actually,
natin.
tatlong champion in the mid lane. He gave so much damage dito just to defend that first turret. Sobrang painful na itong si Shyvana at this point of time. Though itong si Jax, si LY, nakabawi na kagad itong si QTV sa nangyaring teamfight kanina. But having those item Shin and Beachwood or Cutlass, malapit na siya makabuo ng kanyang Trinity Force. So, 2 items pa ang requirement niya o yung kailangan niya. Dragon is up. Respond na yung Dragon mga kaibigan. SF5 taking the second Dragon of the Gate. Tumama ang kanyang death sentence for Vera dito. And here comes Jarvan diving in. Sobrang aga mga kaibigan. Still, napakalahati pa lang ang buhay ng Dragon dito. But since medyo aware sila dito na nasa malayo si Shyvana, they have to get the Dragon. And 1-1 Dragon score. Here comes SF5 Yushin from the backline. Ooh, ang laki ng
Grasping root.
ng mga ugat-ugat dito from Zyra kanina. As you can see, SF5 securing their objectives very well, trying their best to get the second turret as soon as possible dito. So once na makuha nila itong second turret in the mid lane, they have the advantage in terms of map control. Kasi ito is isa sa mga pinakamalaking, pinakamahalagang turret dito sa League of Legends, yung mid-tier turret. I mean, mid-second tier turret kasi ang lawak na ng pwedeng mapuntahan dito or ang lawak na ng espasyo ng SF5 sa buong mapa.
Yes, particularly the jungle, which will give IGR having to invest more wards just to defend themselves. As you can see here, in this particular game, there's a little bit more investment in wards compared to the last game. And Yushin was able to actually steal the golems away.
In terms of chasing naman na champion, SF5 also have the advantage dito kasi alam mo naman na hindi na sila mag-hesitate na mag-chase ng champion, mag-chase kasi nga wala na second tier turret dito. Meanwhile, SF5 QTV trying his best to push the second tier turret in the bottom lane as well, doing a split push. Same with Jax, actually he's at the top lane. LY.
Yeah, actually Shyvana has already completed Blade of the Ruined King. Jax, on the other hand, opted not to go for a rush Blade of the Ruined King and picked up some Sheen and some HP. I think he may go now for a Trinity Force rush. And probably complete his Blade of the Ruined King later after he gets the Trinity Force. Alright, Jarvan clearing out some minions. Both teams basically just farming their jungle right now. No action happening on either side. Some pings coming out from IGR here, and they're trying to go into their own jungle, asking for some assistance or some company from members of their own team here. Twitch also now picking up just a brief. We just briefly saw Twitch picking up his own red buff, and now IGR pinging on the Baron. Looks like they want to put down some vision there, since at the moment neither team has any vision of the Baron.
See, might it happen late part of the game. As you can see, still both champion solo laners dito ay nasa top lane pa rin. At nahihirapan si Jax actually to go against Shyvana dito kasi in terms of clearing the wave, QTV have the advantage. Meron na siyang Sunfire Cape, meron din siyang W dito. But Jax somehow managed to get his Trinity Force. So mas malaki yung damage ang kaya niyang ibigay against their opponent. But eto na ang sinasabi ko mga kaibigan ko, Counter-Strike hindi umabot for Shyvana with that Blade of the Ruined King. So I think para magkaroon siya ng advantage dito, kailangan niyang kunin muna yung Blade of the Ruined King niya as well against QTV. But here comes QTV mga kaibigan. Wow! Nice leap out! Hindi tumama ang Dragon form from Shyvana dito. LY still pushing the top, defending the top tier turret, second tier turret of top lane dito. Though they have to recall back home para mag-regenerate. While Valkyrie was here to at least defend. Here comes the Counter-Strike mga kaibigan, na flash out from a champion dito. And here comes LY managed to end up the life of QTV. Wow! Very good job for Jax dito. Disengaging, use that leap. It's double kill for his champion and very good job. Wow! That shock blast combo from Optimus dito. So total it's a 1-4-2 exchange.
Yeah, and that basically evens up the kills right now for both teams. 6-6. Tower advantage though is still in favor of SF5 here, and with that tower lead, of course, they have a slight gold lead of about 1.5 more or less gold lead advantage over SF5. Over IGR here. IGR actually putting up a good fight here. So far, they haven't picked up any wins this season just yet. SF5 though doing really good so far. And if they lose this game, this will probably lower or keep the gap or lessen the gap between the bottom teams and the top teams of the Group B standings. IGR definitely want to pick up their first win this season. They're in a pretty good position right now here, but definitely if they don't pick a few more better plays here, they will have a hard time closing out this game on SF5.
They have to do something mga kaibigan. SF5, as you can see, 6-6 score, 1k goal difference. It's in favor of SF5 dito. But IGR got enough item to at least win yung mga upcoming matches. Upcoming clashes na mangyayari, the later part of the game. As you can see, Jax gearing up for the next clash na mangyayari dito. Kapag nakuha niyo yung kanyang Blade of the Ruined King, he can surely kill Minas dito, but he needs vision. Kailangan niya ng vision ward. Kasi Twitch, with that ambush, kaya niya makapag-disengage kagad. But as you can see, IGR, they're not aware that kinukuha na ngayon ng SF5 ang first Baron of the game. Ooh, death sentence mga kaibigan for Vera. Vera goes down. Nice death sentence from Tsu. Ambush from Minas. The turret goes down. Nice. Good job for the minions dito. This is a fake Baron, as you can see. They're patiently waiting here. Ooh, death sentence connected to IGR. YJ. Good job for Tsu. Once again, here comes the death sentence. A flash out from Floda dito. Minas, ginamit ang kanyang ratatatatat. And double kill for Minas dito. Lulu goes down. It's about time to get the first Baron of the game.
Yeah, definitely SF5 will have no problems. Shaq still secure, getting caught this time around by Thresh. Counter-Strike over there. Nice leap over to Valkyrie. Valkyrie being a nice team player, helping Jack escape his death there from SF5. SF5 now 5-man strong against the 2-man left from SF5 here. Looks like they will try to slow them down, but
Elway teleported in the Baron mga kaibigan. So here comes the sentence once again. Stranglehold! 5 champion got caught, but Evelyn managed to get his own Baron buff. But Valkyrie diving in, using the dash in, double kill for his champion. Vera taking a lot of damage mga kaibigan. If it's shutdown for Optimus, Vera will go down. And YG was next in line. Oops, with that Dragon Strike, Dimasha standard combo. Managed to get away. And it's a 2-for-3 exchange. But it is in favor of Optimus. Actually, it is in favor of SF5 since they got the Baron as well.
Right, so although IGR did put a good effort to try to stop and steal that Baron, it just wasn't enough to really like you said, a 5-man knockup wasn't enough to really stop SF5 here. QTV will continue to push here in the top lane. He's actually started to build some armor. A while ago, he only had Blade of the Ruin King. Right now, he has Sunfire Cape and Warden's Mail.
Ooh, Cataclysm from Jarvan dito. Here comes the Dragon Form. QTV Mansion, Life of One champion from Team S. I mean, IGR dito. But, IGR Valkyrie slain the dragon. How to train your dragon nga naman dito. 9-13 score in favor of SF5. Still, buhay pa rin ang turret sa top lane. Same with the bottom lane. But with this Baron buff, for Minas alone, I think Minas na lang natitira may Baron buff or Optimus pa, yes. We have Minas, we have Optimus as well. The rest of the champions of Team SF5 dito ay wala ng kani-kanilang mga buffs.
Yeah, anyway, back looking at the gold right now, we do have a 4.7 gold lead in favor of SF5 here. SF5 being a little bit passive here, they do have an advantage with, like you said, their two carries have the Baron buff still, deciding not to group together and push any of the lanes here. A lot of pink wards invested by IGR here. You can see here in the minimap that there are 3 pink wards laid out, particularly the entrances towards their base from the jungle. Alright, so here we see both Thresh and Twitch here trying to make some plays here, and Shyvana is still pushing in the top lane. I'm surprised she's not gonna be joining the rest of the team here. Looks like she will continue to push this tower, push all the way to the tower here, as the 4 other members of SF5 try to pick off some members of IGR.
5k gold difference. Still in favor of SF5. Second turret na naman ang second target. I mean, ang kanilang target ngayon in the bottom lane. Well, Jax is still on top lane dito. Without his teleport, I don't think he can respond. If ever magkaroon ng team fight dito in the bottom lane. Though QTV still have his own teleport dito. Twitch, meron na siyang Yomu's Ghost Blade at the BF Sword. Mahihirapan dito ang IGR kapag ginamit niya yung kanyang Ratatat. As you can see, that damage na magagaling from 2 and attack speed as well. I mean, sorry, Minas. But with that shockwave acceleration kit combo, so far ngayon, nagawa rin ni QTV na kunin ng second tier sa top lane dito.
Yeah, kanina pa siya gigil na gigil dyan actually. And he finally takes it down here. Optimus using Shock Blast.
Aray ko
Oh
po!
my god!
Napakaraming
Whoa!
damage from Kaling nanggaling dito kay Valkyrie. But here comes the initiation, mga kaibigan. Wildcard from the backline. Here comes the teleport. In that combined, galing dito kay QTV. QTV Mansion at Life of Vera dito from the backline. And here comes the Dragon Form. Diving in. Floda ang natira from IGR. Meanwhile, the other members of SF5 taking the inhibitor turret dito. And the inhibitor as well. Floda can't do anything to respond at mag-defend ng kanilang turret.
SF5 might be able to end this game already, although the life counters are still pretty short here. Death Sentence not connecting to Floda here. QTV is tanking the tower right now, but their HPs are kind of really low here, and they decide to back away as all the members of IGR are about to spawn. Only LY left, and as soon as he's up, all 5 members will be there. Let's see if Lucian can try to catch anybody here. A ward being placed down, not spotting anybody from SF5. SF5 will successfully recall back to base.
Medyo hindi yata naging maganda yung pagpasok kanina dito ng IGR. Though, SF5 forced them to initiate a team fight dito. Napilitan talaga sila eh.
I'm surprised how aggressive Optimus is, even tanking the third just to lay down some damage into it. Not scared of getting caught here. Sue so far on the Thresh has been doing a pretty good job. We've seen a number of folks there being very successful for the team of SF5 to turn the game in their favor. As you can see, the kill count has increased by a huge number right now, 17-9 in favor of SF5, and the gold is now more than 10,000 in favor also for SF5.
Alam mo, laki talaga ng tulong dito ng Yomu's Ghost Blade for Twitch. Gaya ng discussion natin before, pinag-usapan natin kung anong mas maganda, Sword of Divine or Yomu's Ghost Blade, and napag-agreehan natin pareho na mas maganda talaga yung Yomu's Ghost Blade kasi kapag on cooldown yung Sword of Divine dito, wala siyang effect. Yung attack speed niya hindi man lang magbabago. So, sayang din. Sayang yung item slot actually kapag naka-cooldown siya. So, maganda rin yung effect niya kasi 100% critical yun eh.
It's similar to what you call this Magi Soul Stealer. It's a very high risk, high reward item.
High risk, high reward item.
If you're behind and you lose or you don't successfully execute your combo, then you're in a lot of trouble. But if you are successful, then of course it's really, really powerful. And items like that are not used very often, especially by pro players, especially for professional games, because those kind of risks are just too high to count on, especially in team fights. Especially when you have the entire team it's like putting a big target over your head, saying like, shoot me. And if you're a carry, you don't want to have that nice big target on your head with an item, particularly like that, when you see everybody will be chasing you like crazy.
SF5 trying to best to get the third tier turret here in the mid lane. Leader turret. So once na makuha nila to, ito na, inhibitor turret na. Inhibitor turret goes down. It's about time to get the inhibitor as well. Kita-kita mo yung damage output ng shock plus combo. Here comes the initiation. Cataclysm mga kaibigan from YJ dito. W from Evolution, but Dragon Form from QTV as well, initiating the team fight mga kaibigan. Dark Passage to save a champion dito, but everything will go down. Then Ted's connected very well. Meanwhile, Valkyrie got the life of Minas dito. A double kill for him. QTV taking so much damage dito at napakalaking ugat talaga ng mga roots. But here comes the Guardian Angel from Optimus. Actually, medyo naging aggressive ng sobrang SF5 doon.
Well, luckily they were still able to somehow turn it around even with Twitch going down there. The super minions coming from the bottom lane are working on the last Nexus turret, and that turret goes down here. The Nexus is now open for the taking here, but it's too risky even with the super minions here. Optimus playing very aggressive onto Valkyrie here, and Valkyrie at half HP is healing up, doing his best to defend their Nexus against the super minion coming out from SF5's base.
Alam mo, maganda rin yung maganda rin yung performance din ni Valkyrie. As you can see, every time na pumapasok dito ang members ng SF5, hindi nila na-focus kagad si Valkyrie. And Valkyrie, being the AD carry, dishing out so much damage that even any member from SF5 can handle the damage output from Lucian with that last whisper and the Bloodthirster as well. At kapag nag-critical pa siya, I think around 500 to 600 critical lang mabibigay niya dito. Or yes, around 300, 400 for Lucian alone.
Actually, I'd just like to point out, there's a new item coming out, especially for AD carries who use a lot of mana, similar to Lucian. But of course, there's also Corki, and even Jace probably might be decent, where they're able to, whenever they attack, they're like life-stealing mana back, and that would be really, really cool to see how, or if any new champions will spawn because of this.
Second Baron of the game goes to SF5 once again. Still ang ating Dragon score ay 1-1.
Baron not getting much love this game, not neither team really focusing on the Dragon that much. SF5.
Here comes YJ, sobrang aggressive mga kaibigan. Ginamit ang kanyang Cataclysm. But that Wild Growth is not enough to save a champion. Dito, Floda goes down. Kita-kita mo yung first damage na galing kanina kay Twitch using the Taratata. And the almost goes mid as well. But Vera will go down as well. 3 champion from team IGR goes down. And they're getting the nexus of the game. It's about time to end this game. Congratulations, SF5, winning the game against IGR.
That's right. So congratulations to SF5. Still showing very strong performance. Sadly, IGR still not picking up any win this season. The ISG teams, IGR and IGL, are having really are struggling, similar to the Philippine teams. So both Singapore and the Philippines right now are having a hard time picking up their wins. In terms of skill level, we've seen from all those core teams that they have the potential to actually win games, but somehow they just lack initiative or strategy to actually close out games. So hopefully teams from these countries will start picking up some wins. We are entering or almost done with the second week, or this is the last day of the second week. Next week will be the mid season, and if they don't pick up any wins there, I really doubt they'll make it to even the qualifiers.
Actually, may hirapan sila na sobra. sa ating upcoming matches dito kung nagkataon na sobrang hindi pa rin sila manalo sa mga games. So far ngayon ang last day natin for second week. Pero bago ang lahat, let's talk about the match stats. As you can see, 11-23 score in total between IGR and SF5. And sobrang nahirapan dito ang IGR to go against a champion like si Optimus. That burst damage, that poke damage coming from Optimus as well. QTV on the other hand, from the backline using the Dragon Form, sobrang tanky niya eh. Even initiating na teamfight dito, kahit siya mismo yung una, kahit siya mismo yung sumasalo ng lahat ng damage na nagagaling from IGR dito, he is still surviving. And before dying, at least kaya niya magdala ng isang champion sa pagkamatay niya. And as you can see, even the wild growth na nagagaling kay Floda dito, ito mapapasin mo sa lineup ng IGR. Nagre-relay sila ng sobra sa protect na magagaling from Floda. Lagi pumapasok si YJ. Lagi siya nag-initiate dito. Very unfortunate for him, hindi enough yung shield na nagagaling kay Floda dito. So with that, 0-6-5 ang score niya in total.
Yeah, and actually good job coming from Optimus. They're really shutting down Floda, even in the laning phase. Looking at the CS, it's about more than 74 CS. It's about 74 CS in favor for Jace. And I think Lulu's poke damage is a little bit more superior since Optimus Shock Blast requires him to have a clear vision to hit Floda. Unlike Lulu, who can use her skills to go through the minions and actually hit or harass Optimus.
Again, congratulations Team SF5 winning the game. Third game actually for tonight. Again, you're watching the Green Premier League 2014 summer season. Mamaya, sinukat muna ang ating schedule before we have our short break.
Alright, so a while ago we had BKT versus Lugu Taipei Assassins, followed by IGL and Saigon Jokers. The last game we just saw was Insidious Gaming Rebirth versus the Saigon Fantastic 5. And the last match of the night will be Wargods and Maki Esports. Of course, we're gonna have a short break before that next match. It's really exciting to see how Maki Esports will perform. They've recently lost 2 of their members due to being banned from the tournament due to elo boosting. And that's very strictly prohibited by the GPL and actually any professional league.
Actually, hindi lang basta-basta na-ban sila sa competitive game. I think, hindi lang locally kundi internationally as well.
For
so,
2 years.
malaki-laking bagay dito yung nawala sa kanila.
And replacing those 2 players, since they're not allowed to bring in any more players, their chance to putting in players have already been denied. So, the team owner will be the one playing for them. He's about 41-year-old Taiwanese player from Taiwan. This is going to be a really exciting game to see if they can still stop a fully professional team, which is Wargods.
Well,
we'll have to see. It's going to be exciting. So
it's going to be very interesting.
I think you guys should share this on Facebook or whatever social media you have. This is going to be a really exciting match.
So far, again, salamat sa lahat ng mga nanood ngayong gabing ito. Kita-kits tayo ulit after a few minute break. I'm Sphere.
And I'm Jay.
You're watching the Green Premier League 2014 summer season. Next game tayo ngayon, Wargods versus Maki Esports.